In this presentation, we will take a look at multiple choice questions related to responsibility accounting, going through the questions and then practicing test-taking skills with them. First question, which generates revenues and incurs costs? A, performance center, B, cost center, C, profit center, D, responsibility center, and E, expense center. We're going to go through this again using the process of elimination. Which generates revenues and incurs costs? A, we have a performance center. That sounds like it could be reasonable. I'll keep that for now. B says a cost center. Now the cost center you would think would have costs, but possibly not revenues. I'm going to say possibly not B. C says a profit center. Now a profit center has profits, maybe not costs, but I'll keep that for now. And then a D says a responsibility center. And we're talking about responsibility accounting, so I don't know, maybe D. And then E says an expense center. And again, that sounds kind of like costs. There's no revenue in there at all, so I'll say cross that one out. We'll keep A, C, and D. Go through it again. Which generates revenues and incurs costs? Either A, performance center, C, profit center, or D, responsibility center. Now, as we go through this, D is going to be basically the overarching kind of responsibility accounting. It's not really a center, although we can say each center has some type of responsibility over something. So D is not A, that's a generic term. A's performance center and C is a profit center. And generally we're naming the centers a profit center, a cost center, and investment center. So the profit center is actually going to be the one here. Now note that we emphasize the profit here because we're going to have, but anytime we have, of course, revenues that we're going to be incurring, we're also going to be managing some type of costs for that to be the case as well. So any area, any center is going to have some costs that are going to be applied to it. So if it's a profit center, it's going to have profit. It's going to also have some costs. We'll keep it at C. Final answer, which generates revenue and incurs costs? C, a profit center. Next question. Department that generates revenue and incurs costs, and the manager is responsible for the investments made. A, profit center, B, cost center, C, service department, D, stock and bonds center, E, investment center. Let's go through this again using the process of elimination. Department that generates revenue and incurs costs, and the manager is responsible for investments made. Either A, profit center. So again, we have revenue and cost, so that might be one. So we'll keep that. B says a cost center. So, and again, there doesn't sound like there'd be any revenue in the cost center. So I'm going to say no on that one. C says a service department. Now, a service department, you might think of that as something that basically has costs that they're going to apply to other centers, basically a maintenance department or something like that within the company. So it doesn't seem like that would have revenue as well. So I'm going to say not that one. D says stocks and bonds center. We haven't really heard that yet, so I'll keep that one for now. And E says an investment center. So I'll keep that. Sounds like it, something new, an investment center. Let's go through it again. Department that generates revenues and incurs costs, and the manager is responsible for investments made. So we have a profit center, stocks and bonds center, investment center. Now of those three, the stocks and bonds sounds a little outside, a little unusual. Stocks and bonds are types of investments, so maybe we think those two are similar possibly, but it doesn't seem like stocks and bonds center doesn't sound quite right. Profit center, investment center. Now these two centers could have revenue and expenses, but the investment center is usually there to responsible for investments, so longer term type of investments. So that's going to be typically the difference between these two types of items. The profit center, you're typically thinking of the current short-term day-to-day operation types of activities that are going to be generating revenue, and the costs are incurred by the center to do that. The investment center might be investing in more long-term and need to basically manage those longer-term type investments. So final answer is E. Department that generates revenue and incurs costs, and the manager is responsible for investments made. E, investment center.